Welcome to the ExAinime podcast. This is episode 30.
Yep. Hey, special episode? Not really, because
Yeah.
Monway's only gets the special episodes.
Yeah, so we're on our
A-list again.
Yes, A-list, which the shows we're going to be talking about this week. Go ahead.
Oh, say My Hero, Combatants will be dispatched. Don't Toy With Me. Megalobox, what I'm talking about. And then Fruits Basket is what Justus is talking about.
Yeah.
So let's start. My Hero. Another
there-
basically tournament arc.
Yeah.
Because they actually got into the fights this time, right? Because last time they left off on the fight just begun. So it's their first team, which is, wow. I mean, that I won't say wow for the fight. It's kind of cool to see how everyone's quirks has kind of developed.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're basically focusing on the characters that you didn't see before. And now you see them using their quirks. Because the thing is, a lot of them didn't really show off their hero training. Because at the end of the last season, you really only saw like Deku. Who do you really see? Really, at the end of the last season, I guess it was actually the really big heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't see anyone else's quirks or how they've developed over there, minus like Deku, Uraka. I don't know how to say it. Gravity Girl.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then kind of the Frog Girl, but not really. And now this season, they're actually going more in depth with people's quirks and then all the improvements on their suits.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have new suits. So far, I feel like these last 3 episodes, because we watched everything up to episode 5 now on My Hero, right? 5th episode. It's confusing because on Crunchyroll, they just listed as episode like 93 or whatever.
6 episodes, sorry.
6 episodes, yeah. And honestly, it's been kind of underwhelming, minus like...
I think so far the most interesting aspects have been like the Deku trying to understand his quirk and that like link that happened during the dream. That so far has been the most interesting part, and we just haven't gotten that the last 3 episodes.
But at least now you get to learn more about Class B, or was it 1B? That's what they call them. Because you obviously know everything about Class 1A. 1B, to be fair, I was knocking a lot of their costumes, but I guess now it kind of makes sense with what a lot of their quirks are. They're not as fancy. They could have made their costumes a little better, but it's understandable. So far, the coolest dude is the... Not the guy that uses Dark Shadow, but the other guy. The guy that can fade in the shadows.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is really cool, but also very creepy. Like, you can tell, like, his quirk, when you think about it, or his powers, when you think about it, it's like, they're not really, like, hero powers. I could see him in the military, because you can blend in the shadows, pop out of fucking nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. But that's pretty much it for... I mean, I guess at the end of the newest episode, when she pulls out the fucking... basically... big boob girl in the class. The one I don't like her costume. I have a lot of problems with it. I understand, some characters are sexualized. I feel like she's super over sexualized, especially for, a high schooler. You can say all you want, it's anime all day, but it's like no one's wearing like a suit that's cut like this, almost to the nips, and then back down to like the belly button.
Yeah.
And then she's wearing like a mini skirt. It's like, come on, guys. Like, there's even more swimsuits that cover more than what her suit does.
Yeah,
but
Momo.
Momo. I mean, it kind of makes sense for hers because she, like, grows stuff out of her. Because at the end of the newest episode, she's fighting, like, Big Fist Girl. And obviously, she pulls out a fucking can. She's like, yo, this takes time, but boom, bang, firepower.
Yeah, Itsuka. I'm like, I have the list of names. I'll be 100% honest. My Hero has a lot of characters that are fully named and like they're giving screen time to. It's almost impossible to keep up with every single person's name.
The only people you really keep up with are the people you see all the time, like Ida, Deku, Bakugo, obviously Todoroki, because you see them all the time. Because they are, I mean, obviously Deku is the main character. The coolest thing I forgot to mention was is it episode 4? Is when they have that start of the first fight, when they're actually fighting, is the guy that can mind control. He's learning how to use Eraserhead's powers.
Yeah.
With the
bandage.
Yeah, basically. Which is fucking cool, because it is a support feature of his quirk. It's so cool seeing, because and then, at the end of the fight, they're like, listen, you need to learn to master it. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I need to train better. It's like, don't worry, it took me 6 years, which will be impressive where, maybe in a season he's mastered it, quicker.
Mm-hmm. And it's even nice to kind of have some of those moments where you look at someone like Eraserhead, Aizawa, and it's like you picture him as he's definitely one of the stronger heroes that you always get to continuously see. And for him, even though he, of course, sounds kind of gloomy towards it, where it's like, oh, it still even took him like multiple years to like perfect like working on something like that, and the hard work that he had to do.
Because they're all introduced and they're like prime, they're really good heroes. I mean, even All Might, when they introduce him, he's really tough. I guess it does show him in the first episode. You know, he's not all high and mighty like everyone thinks he is. But
yeah, but that's only near like the end of the episode, kind of, when you realize and
what he actually is. But people still looked up to him the first couple seasons. You know,
you still have the built or idolization of that hero there and on how strong he is. So yeah,
I mean, I guess the other big thing before we move on to the next show, because like I said, not a lot happened, was they are putting pressure on the students they're like, listen, we got to get you through this course correctly and quick, because they need you more now than ever, because obviously they said people are committing more crimes. I do like Dark Shadows, or what's his name? Birdhead dude? Dark Shadow is his actual quirk. I do like his progression, showing how he now can fly. Like, he's learning, like, the pro hero he was with, Hawks, isn't like, you know, he doesn't like taking on apprentices, but he at least did help him learn about how you can use your quirk and how you can use it better. And it's cool just to see in the, like, technically it's only been a year since they've entered the school, how much they've grown in 1 year. I mean, it's going to be 5 seasons is 1 year.
Tokoyami,
yeah. But that's about it for the time we have for that first show.
Yeah, it's good. I just wish that they would really push into like some of the meat and potatoes. Like, you know, imagine like a regular meal. I feel like right now we sampled the steak, got a little bit of the mashed potatoes there in some of those parts, but we're mainly just like mushing around the peas, trying to decide when we want to actually eat everything else. So,
did you want to jump to Combatants then? That's technically second on our list. Which
dude gets caught as a spy and gets told to leave.
Yeah, that's basically the newest episode. My favorite part though is there's very much you can tell that it's the same writer as Kobayashi. Konosuba. Sorry, I don't know why I said Kobayashi. Maybe because I want the next season, but Konosuba. Main thing, my favorite part of these newest couple episodes, when he's walking around trying to earn evil points for a good cause, he's just running around and he's unzipping his pants by like he's got his hands behind his head and he's like, "Aha! Be afraid of me unzipping my pants."
Look, I'm not even touching it.
And the best part of that whole thing was the last girl he's basically sexually harassing is Darkness. She's like, "Please don't knock me out. I tripped. You didn't even trip. I tripped and I can't move in fear.
My ankle is swollen. I can't even run away." And like zoom in with just the hearts on the eyes. It's like, oh, you just really have this fantasy, huh? Okay.
Like it's 100% just Darkness 2.0.
Even kind of that moment where like serious stuff is about to like kick off. The demon army is marching towards the main city. Yeah. He just randomly gets evil points. It's like, wait, what'd you do? It's like, I hid porno mags in these children's fucking house.
I was like, did you see in the background when he's talking to her, there's smoke in the background that pops up? Because obviously he had planted landmines everywhere. But even though, sorry, that was the newest episode that was out. The episode before was even more hilarious because they're fighting Hanami or Hani or whatever. Basically, one of the elite 4 of the Demon's Army, the girl that rides the Phoenix.
Yeah, I've beaten you.
Yeah.
Hicks.
Yeah, the funniest part was at one point he like cuts off like a jewel. It's like a philosopher's stone that like gives her powers or helps amplify her powers by a whole bunch, because they even say it takes years to dump power into it. And then she's get all nervous. She's like, "Oh, please give it back." He's like, So what does he do? Spends evil points, buys a camera, and starts posing her in like very lewd poses in front of the whole army. And every time he takes a photo, he's getting like dozens of evil points because he can buy stuff with evil points. And you're getting the stereotypical stuff. And it's like, so when are you gonna give it back to me? It's like, then what's her name?
Alice.
Alice is like, "Oh, we never said we were gonna give it to you. you just decided to agree to this like an idiot. She's like, what do you mean you're not going to give it back to me? And he's still taking pictures.
Mm-hmm. And then
my God.
the most recent episode, like, they plant a bunch of mines, and one of the mines has the jewel on it, and she's like, "Oh, like
it's my jewel."
Of course she kind of has a little bit of the tsundere thing going on because she kind of likes it, but like doesn't really want it. And it's like, oh, are you just gonna like let me have it? And then it like cuts back to her finally getting to the kingdom half blown up.
Yeah, dude, it's oh no,
she seems very mad.
Speaking of tsundere, tsundere, is that what it is?
Tsundere.
The best part was after this was technically that's episode 4. When they're in the bar after they beat the Knight's Army the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious when Agent 6 is like, look, see this, she's a tsundere. She hits me, but she actually loves me. And then she gets teased to all hell by everyone.
Yeah.
Even like episode 3 was hilarious. That's when they have to scale the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, even the hero can beat these monsters. And of course, Agent 6 and Alice are like, well, this is dumb. We're going to wait till night and just climb up the outside.
Mm-hmm.
They don't tell anyone they're going to climb the outside.
We're going to push them over the edge.
Yeah, he literally climbs up to the top, and then he gets up and then kicks the goat, and the goat falls down. I was like, what are you doing to my brother? Okay, everyone, grab a rock. If he comes for us, throw rocks at the goat.
Yeah, I do like the dirty tactics. Just kind of the general idea of like, oh, both sides are supposed to be super noble in how they fight, and 6 and then it's like, yo,
fuck this shit.
Pee on him. Do it. And then even during the most recent episode, because 6 basically like the general planner that
the strategist.
Yeah. Of course he's like an evil dude. It wouldn't surprise me if like he's actually coercing with the demon army and is, trying to figure out a way for the demon army to like overrun, and then he'll be part of them kind of thing. That definitely seems like the route that it's going to take. Had put it in Snow's head where it's like, 6 seems kind of like a spy, and Snow kind of walks towards him and it's like, well, of course he's a spy, but like that's a separate spy kind of thing. And she hears it. She tells him to leave as kind of like a thank you for all that they've done. And when he's doing that like zipper thing to get a bunch of points, he comes back to the market in the morning and there's just posters everywhere. Zipperman.
He gets teased by everyone.
Yeah, he gets back to like the end that they're at and was like, Alice, they're being mean to me. What's wrong, Zipperman? No. I was like, all right, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much it. I mean, so far, I thought the first 2 episodes were slow, and I was like, where are they going with this? These last 3 episodes, fucking hilarious. It is definitely the same person that did Konosuba.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's ramping up, and even the next episode, I feel, is going to be pretty exciting, because there's, like, the army, the demon army is kind of finally at the front door. A little battered already, which might help.
I wonder what their trump card is. I bet it's just a fucking nuke.
I feel like that'd be too many evil points. Yeah.
Well, they said you got to save 200.
Pretty good show so far.
Then, do you want to talk about Fruits Basket then?
It's so good.
We're literally in the kitchen walking over, and Justus is like, "It's my new favorite show."
It's with the final season, as things are like really starting to develop and push through, it's just having those moments where it's like, man, I've enjoyed this show just like so much. Like, it does a good way of conveying both subtle messages and complex messages. Like some stuff that may get brought up, or those moments where like someone says something and you sit back and it's like, man, that was like a very loaded question based on the information that we as the audience already have.
Does it still hold up as well as like the beginning episodes?
Yes, because I think they're even stronger than the beginning.
Are they following the manga 1-to-1 with this one?
Okay. Roughly, yeah. I haven't heard anyone complain about any variations. Of course, there's a little small subtle changes that they may have to do to even just kind of have those moments to modernize. some things just a little bit considering when the manga originally came out. Like, yeah, now in the show, like smartphones and like computers and stuff are very readily available everywhere. That kind of stuff. Sort of readily available, but they have those hints. But yeah, it's very good, and I'm even conflicted because I have those points where like I really want to talk about it. Like, you know, the big goal has been Akito, who is basically the what's the best word? Like god of all of the Zodiacs, which the Zodiacs are inhabited by individuals. Yeah. So you have, I think it's, what's the regular Zodiac number? Like 12 or 13?
I think it's 12.
There's the 13th, which is the cat. Because I don't think a cat is a normal Zodiac.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think cat is.
I'd have to look. I know specifically within the show.
Maybe it is 13 and I'm just wrong with the 12.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. You keep explaining.
The cat is basically like the bastard Zodiac. Like anyone who has the cat Zodiac, like especially that is like the bastard child. They have a curse. The rest of them have like a gift of being the Zodiac, unless you're the cat, which you live a life of a curse. And even the grandfather of Kyo, the person who is currently the cat, for basically the rest of his or all of his adult life, he was locked in a cage to be like shut away in a corner away from everyone else, like levels of bastardization. But yeah, the show does a really good job of
there's 12. You're right. The cat is the odd one out.
Yeah. So in this case, the cat is kind of like a pseudo 13. And the kind of end goal currently is Akito is all of the Zodiac's god, essentially. They were born to love her. There's just a bond like unwavering. Though you have now a second instance of that bond being severed in its entirety. Like, two people are no longer Zodiacs at all. They can't turn into their Zodiac animal. One of them, I'd have to like pull up his name. I don't even know if he'd be readily like on the list real quick. But he was the rooster, and his broke. Like, he's just a normal human now.
Isn't that what they wanted to be, though?
Huh?
Didn't they just want to be normal humans?
No. In his case, he doesn't even know why his broke. It was just one day, years ago, like, Kurano, his link just snapped. And anytime it snaps, Akito knows, because there's such a strong bond and she's supposed to be the god. Like, even this most recent time in the most recent episode, Momoji, spoiler, his breaks, which that boy had a growth spurt. He went from looking like a little boy girl to fucking 5'8" and like handsome man while still like having a little bunny girl backpack. It's a whole thing. But his broke, and like there's a specific reason why his broke. The fact that like there, for him there's just not the love in his heart for Akito, and that she, like, he loves the main character Honda Toru, and there's the interesting concept of like, as you saw him when he was slightly younger, because of course basically what happens is there was like the end of the year thing. They took like a quick spring break, and he had a big growth spurt during that, which of course for like middle into high school stuff, like that happens a lot. Someone comes back and you're like, why are you a foot taller? And like, what the fuck happened? So
because I am a cat.
Yes. In that case, that's exactly the scenario that happened. And the interesting concept of like, Someone was saying like it seems super weird that Momoji like just randomly loves Toru as much as he does. That like that link that he feels that Akito like there's no room for her there may have been the reason why it broke. But like there's no like pre-showing of that, and it's like someone had brought up a good point that Momoji literally looked like a child, like someone who was more around 11 or 12 instead of 15-ish years old, 15, 16, and that like acted way younger. So our idea of those feelings, like because he now looks older, get conveyed differently, though they're the same feelings. And there's those moments where it's like, man, this show does a really good job of like building on things where once you have to look back and it's like, no, the love was definitely like always there. It's just the way they looked and the contextualization that we put on it makes it seem very different than what has been there the whole time. So yeah, the show's real good.
Yeah.
Moving on. Don't toy with me. I can't believe it's not here.
I mean, he does have a very good point. Was that the newest episode that they had the hand washing?
Yeah,
dude, they're washing.
Let me wash your hands.
They even have like the music, and they do the purple tint, and he's standing there. He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Oh wait, hang on a sec."
Yeah, wait. He literally just runs away. It's like, you haven't even dried your hands. I'll do it in the boys' room.
That boy had a boner while running away, and we all know it. Dude, this show is fucking hilarious. I love it so much, especially when Nagatoro, she's not the one bullying him. Her two friends are. Just the face she gives, the like, I'm going to kill you, head tilt, eyes over, inside the, like, right in the doorway. Oh, I think that was fucking hilarious. But even better was that episode 2, right? No, episode 3 is the Buns scene.
Buns? No, that's the most recent episode as well.
Oh, is it? So
yeah,
like
that was the second half.
And the newest episode, and it was the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So our boy is in the room eating lunch peacefully, and then the two other bowling girls come in. They're like, "Hey, we ended up getting one of the premium buns that are like extra soft and extra like flaky and stuff." Or not flaky. They're like, "See how premium it is? If you can guess which one is the soft."
You're getting things confused.
No, what did they say?
Well,
basically the girls tried to have him feel them up.
Yes.
Was a part of it.
That was Maki, which is the one with the longer
red hair,
ginger
orange
hair. She was like, "Oh, have you ever touched boobs before?" And Sakura blonde holds him down, and then they force him to touch. And it turns out that she has a pan bun in there in her bra.
In each one, yeah. So he never actually did grope her, and that's when Nagatoro comes in. She's like, touching boobs over here?
Yeah.
You touching boobs that aren't my boobs?
Yeah. Those two absolutely run away.
Yeah.
And
then it's just him and Nagatoro. And that's when she's like, if you want this premium bun.
Yeah, she shows the premium.
Yeah. She shoves him in her bra. She's like, guess which one is which. So he feels the first bun. He's like, okay, this is a regular bun. Then he goes to feel the second one, and one of the premium buns slips out. So he just gets a handful of Nagatoro, and he's just basically feeling her up. He's like, this one is softer. It's nice, round. He's like, it's textured.
He added the next step of like going in two-handed, and that's like, where it's like, yo, come on, bro.
Yeah, it was even funnier because they do like the thing from Assassination Classroom when they do the hands. I think that's fucking hilarious. Whenever a studio does that, just slaps the shit out of him with the premium bun, and then the face expression she makes.
It reminds me of the Chica with the fucking newspaper.
Oh yeah, whap. The best part, she's just eating there with the straight like anger face. She's like, yeah, it's good. This bun is good.
It's very delicious. It's very premium.
Yeah. And our boy is pretty good at drawing too. Like the first of the newest episodes, which is that episode 3? We watched the newest one? Because we watched
the newest one was 4.
So we watched 2.
One, yeah. So the one episode prior
So this week
it was heavy rain, and they end up getting soaked, and he goes over to her place, and they play video games.
Yeah, and he absolutely destroys her in the game.
Until she literally just bullies him.
Yeah. That boy was sexually assaulted. He got groped.
I don't think he worries too much anymore.
Well, she did sexually assault him. Was that episode 2?
Probably.
When she pins him on the ground and she goes to reach, gets a handful of dick, and she's like, "Oh,
yeah,
not what I meant to touch."
Mm-hmm.
Our boys getting bullied so hard.
Yeah, and episode 4, the kind of like the last act was, as a thank you or like apology, he has to draw her. Because she's asked a couple times. It's like, all right, well, now you really put it.
I was actually planning on drawing an apple, but I guess I'll draw you.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I wanted to draw an apple. Apples and bananas will always be here. I am a high school girl. Look at the premium item. Like, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, then his reward was, she's like, close your eyes. Now, we don't know if she kissed him or not. His eyes were closed. Then she says, stick out your tongue and taste, and she pulls away a doll. She might have actually kissed him. That's my theory. When you get to the end, it's actually going to reveal. Because you can tell that she likes him.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%. You know, it's very much that I'm going to tease you because I like you thing.
Because, look, there's those times where even he says something nice. I forget exactly what it was. That was like a genuinely nice thing.
Your kick is really good.
The kick in episode 1 where she's like mimicking some of the moves from the manga that he was drawing was like actually badass. Yeah. And she's like a bit thrown off by that. And
blushes
like
a lot. She's
like has the genuine like thank you. And you can tell that she even likes the drawing because he's too embarrassed to
draw her.
Eventually, she just lays down on the couch and like falls asleep.
He's the opposite of Agent 6.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm gonna rest here, senpai. You'll get on with it.
Yeah, I do like the juxtaposition and even some of the subtleties of like the toying with you for toying with you and the actual like toying with you because I like you. Every so often, there's definitely those like, yo, I know that I can get you to like blush really hard and do this, so I'm gonna just do it because I can. But yeah, it's a pretty good show. That boy does get sexually harassed though. It would not fly in 2021. Maybe Japan though. Our last one
is Megalobox season 2.
Oh, it is our last one.
Yeah. So hang on, I'm pulling up their names real quick because it's very important to the story right here. Why is it pulling on season 1 characters? This is fucking dumb. I'm so sorry. Stall.
Netflix is getting Sailor Moon on June 3rd. Just a little bit of anime news, I guess, like in the middle of all of this. So I think that's kind of interesting. The Demon Slayer movie,
50 billion yen.
Yeah, it also over last weekend still was performing better than the Mortal Kombat movie here in the United States, which is crazy impressive.
Okay, so I got my characters. I just had to remember his name. He has a nickname. I'll call him by that, not his actual name, because it's gonna be too hard to pronounce. So Megalobox season 2, still super fucking good. Basically, last time we left off, Joe had just arrived at a settlement. He's having problems with drugs and alcohol, trying to get over some trauma, and we don't know exactly what the trauma was of it. And then we're reminded in, I guess technically the newest episode, which I think is episode 5, is the technical episode. But basically, what happens is these immigrants are living in a abandoned amusement park, and the land's going to be sold, so the immigrants are told they can't live there unless they can buy the land at auction. So there's this guy, Chief, that Joe just got done fighting. Chief brings Joe to this area to like help him get off his drugs, fix his past problems. So he's this huge supporting character. And Joe and Chief are both boxers. Chief is boxing to help raise money to save the village so they can buy it and live there because all immigrants are being discriminated against. It's kind of sad. It's like, they're people too. They moved here for better reasons. They live in the slums. They don't really complain. They get by. People hate them because they're immigrants. That's kind of way of like this country's settings.
Mm-hmm.
And in episode 3, Joe starts helping Chief because at the end of episode 2, Joe's getting ready to leave, and Chief is going to try and win this small Megalobox tournament. And if you win this small one, you secure a seat in the actual big Megalobox tournament that pays money to where you can live the rest of your life without doing anything ever again. Mm-hmm. It's a huge, like, basically it'd be the same as, like, I don't know, what's the biggest fight ever? Like Conor versus Mayweather? Yeah. Like that kind of big of a fight.
Mm-hmm. But
even bigger than that.
Yeah, because I think that secured a minimum of $50 million each.
Yeah. Like the winner got $200 million. Like this is bigger. This is like the equivalent of you won like $1 billion. Like, or $1 trillion. Oh. It's kind of the thing. Like, you won a lot of money. No, billion, yeah. So in episode 3, Joe is helping Chief train for this fight, teaching him, and then Chief is trying to help Joe get past his, like, Joe obviously has, like, emotional, like, trauma, PTSD from his past life because his old instructor died, which you, at the end of the season 1, you're like, oh, he's alive, everyone's okay. And then you learn, well, his, teacher died, which is, shit, I forgot his name. Luckily, I have the wiki up here. Wow, it's actually not on here. No, but basically, Joe is teaching this guy to fight. The guy wins the first fight. So it's like he has to win 4 fights to win this mini tournament to get a ticket to the big tournament. He only has to win the mini tournament to get enough money to buy the land back. Wins the first fight. That's episode 3. Episode 4, then you get this thing where the guy immediately wins the fight, easy peasy, no problem. And it's all about Joe's backstory of why he's here, why he's fighting to fix his fears. And Joe has like super regrets of, I wasn't there when, my teacher, Nanbu, died. And it's because Joe was entering another fight to get enough money for his medical surgery to help his former coach live longer. But while he was doing that fight, his coach had died and everyone feels like Joe abandoned them. And then by the time Joe gets back from the fight, he finds out, oh, he's died. I wasn't there for him. And that's kind of his trauma of, I wasn't there. Everyone hates me because I wasn't there to the end. It's what Joe thought was right. Because all Joe ever knows is fighting. He's grown up fighting all the time. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of episode 4, the guy Joe's been training wins the mini tournament. It's great. They get enough money to buy the land back. Everything's going good, and you're thinking, oh, cool, Chief's going to enter in the regular Megalobox tournament. Maybe this is our new thing. Like, Chief's going to win. You're going to see Joe in his redemption arc. Episode 5 starts. Chief says, I'm going to lay down in my car. I'm a little tired. I'll talk to you in the morning. They go to his car the next day. He's died. He's a boxer. Maybe he got, internal bleeding in the head because in the fight they were fighting him, there was some dirty boxing, because he's an immigrant, the ref wasn't calling illegal fouls on the other opponent. So the guy was hitting him in the back of the head, which that's probably the cause of it. They kind of skip over the cause of death. They just kind of accept it. And then it comes down to Joe in episode 5. That's when you get the real big redemption of what actually happened step by step. After Joe won the last tournament, he opens a gym with his former trainer. Everything's going good. Nanbu gets sick in the hospital, and that's where everything kind of goes to shit. Joe wasn't there for him when he died, and that's when Joe just kind of, the only thing he knows how to do is really fight. So then he just kind of abandons everyone and goes on the road and keeps fighting. Mm-hmm. And that's where the 5th episode ends. But I know Joe's going to enter that tournament because they've won a seat in that tournament already. Mm-hmm. So it was really sad, emotional, because it's like you learn that the former coach is actually dead, just not sick. And then this other guy you've been rooting for 4 episodes at this point is now dead. He was a nice guy. Joe's finally gotten off his drugs and alcohol addiction because he was seeing his old coach as a
father figure.
Yeah. Well, he also was seeing him when he's not actually there. What's it called? An illusion or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, he kind of has schizophrenia, I think is what it is. So it was a very emotional show, but I'm excited for next episode where I think Joe's going to enter in on the fight because Joe was getting ready to leave. And, you also find out Chief's backstory too. I forgot to mention that Chief's backstory is when he was coming to this country, his wife died when his son and him were very young. And then on the ride over, Chief brings his son, but his son dies soon afterwards he gets here. And the only reason he's fighting is to save this community because there's other people in the community that are about the same age as his son. So very, very sad. But hopefully next episode, Joe fucking kicks ass. Gearless Joe getting back in the ring.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that's kind of about it this week.
Next week is a special.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll find something because we were to watch a Demon Slayer movie. That was the last special we did.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll talk about Premiere or Ride Your Wave or something. I know we've got a couple movies.
Also on other big news, I want to announce some anime news. Let me pull it up because I have in our Discord. The biggest thing that happened this week that we didn't talk about was Sony accidentally released Demon Slayer
on the PS5. Yeah.
On the PS5 that you could buy and download and take with you. So that got pirated to all hell.
Yeah.
Literally it was only up for 3 hours and it was downloaded so much. The other thing I think we forgot to... No, that was actually pretty much it. Not much else happened. Minus a voice actress died. The Ana Lucia Mendez. She was a... very popular Spanish voice actor for anime and cartoons. She did stuff like Misa from Death Note, Light's girlfriend, and the main character girl from Spirited Away. I forget her name. And then she also did Toph for Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, she died due to COVID complications.
You don't typically hear too much about
other countries.
Yeah, it's typically the major thing is always either an English voice actor or definitely a Japanese voice actor or actress dying.
Yeah. Well, it's also because it's a bigger market. I mean, Japan obviously big market. U.S. huge market for anime. I mean, you have huge conventions here. And then because the thing is when you go on to I think Crunchyroll, you look at the Tanya movie. The Tanya movie was in English, French, Spanish, German, Russian, Japanese, and then 2 other languages.
I think Italian.
Yeah, Italian. So luckily anime is growing. It's nice. That's all I got for this week. There wasn't much other news besides that.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, give us a like, subscribe. If you have any not corrections, comments on how to improve. Maybe if you feel like some of the flow on how we're doing things is just a little off to how you think, just let us know. So that way we can make things a bit better. We have an official 3-camera setup. Though we've had it for 2 weeks, and I just kind of had some complications on the back end because we're still learning.
I blame
Adobe. Yeah, we're still kind of learning some of that.
It will get better. It's been getting better every week.
So, yeah. Just
make sure you check out the video we did before this, too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it comes out after this, so if you're watching this...
But yeah. Japan, great.
Yeah, if you're watching this Saturday, Monday, it should be out. So... Get on every single camera.
Yeah. Now you'll have to cut it that way.
No, I won't.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.